Welcome to another live stream. Today, read Genesis chapter 33, 36. Hopefully, the sound is good. Let's read Genesis chapter 33. Now Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and there Esau was coming, and with him were 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and two maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children behind, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then he crossed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. They wept. He lifted his eyes and saw the woman and children, and said, Who are these with you? So he said, The children whom God has graciously given your servant. The maidservants came near, and they and their children, and bowed down. Leah also came near with their children, and they bowed down. Afterward, Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed down. Then Esau said, What do you mean by all this, companion, which I met? Then he said, These are to find favor in the sight of my Lord. But Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. Jacob said, No, please, if I have now found favor in your sight, then receive my present from my hand, as much as I have seen your face as though I have seen the face of God, and you were pleased with me. Please take my blessings that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. So he urged him, and he took it. Then Esau said, Let us take our journey, let us go, and I will go before you. But Jacob said to him, My Lord knows that the children are weak, and the flocks and herds which are nursing are with me, and if the men should drive them hard one day, all the flocks will die. Please let my Lord go on ahead before his servant, and I will lead on slowly at a pace which the livestock that go before me, children are able to endure until I come to my Lord in Seir. Esau said, Now let me leave with your some of the people who are with me. But he said, What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his day on his way to Seir, and Jacob journeyed to Succoth, built himself an house, and made booths for his livestock. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth. Then Jacob came safely to the city of Shisham, which is in the land of Canaan. When he came from Aram, and he pitched his tent before the city, and he brought the parcel of land where he had pitched his tent, the children of Hamor, Shisham's father, for 100 pieces of money. Then he erected an altar there and called it El Elio Israel. This is chapter number 33. Let's go to chapter number 34. Now Dia, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shisham, the son of Hamor, the Evathite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and violated her. The soul was strongly attracted to Dia, the daughter of Jacob. He loved the young woman and spoke kindly to the young woman. So Shisham spoke to his father Aram, saying, Get me this young woman as a wife. Jacob heard that he had defiled Dia's daughter. Now his sons were his livestock from the field. So Jacob held his peace until they came. Then Hamor, father of Shisham, went out to Jacob to speak to him. The sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it. The men were grieved and very angry because he had done a disgraceful thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing which ought not to be done. But Amos spoke with him, saying, The soul of my son Shisham longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife, and make marriage with us. Give your daughters to us, and take our daughters to yourself. So you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade in it, and acquire possessions for yourself in it. Then Shisham said to his father and his brother, Let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you say to me I will give. Ask me ever so much dowry and gift, and I will give according to what you say to me, but give me the young woman as a wife. But the sons of Jacob answered Shisham and Amor, his father, and spoke deceitfully because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. And they said to him, we cannot do these things to give our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that would be a reproach to us. But on one condition we will consent to you. If you will become as we are, if every male of your circumcised, then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and will become one people. But if you will not heed us and be circumcised, then we will take our daughters and be gone. The words pleased Amor and Shisha, and Amor's son. The young man did not delay to do the things, because he was delighted in Jacob's daughter, yet more honorable than all the household of his father. And Amor and Shisham his son came to the gate of their city, and spoke with the men of the city, saying, these men are at peace with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade in it. For indeed the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us as a wife, and let us give them our daughters, only on one condition: will the men consent to dwell with us, to be one people? If every male among us is circumcised as they are circumcised, will not their livestock, their property, and their every animal of theirs be ours? So let us consent to them, and they will dwell with us. And all who went out of the gate of the city heeded Amor and Shisham his son. Every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of the city. Now it came to pass on the third day, when they were in pain, that two of his sons, Jacob, Simon, Levi, and Dinah's brother, each took a sword and came boldly upon the city and killed all the males. And they killed Amor and Shisha, his sons, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah from Shisha's home, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and plundered the city, because their sister has been defiled. They took their sheep, their oxen, and their donkey, and what was in the city and was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took captive, and they plundered even all that was in the house. Then Jacob said to Simon and Levi, you have troubled me by making me obnoxious among the inhabitants of the earth, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And since I am few in number, they will gather themselves together against me and kill me. I shall be destroyed, my household and I. But they said, should he treat our sister like an harlot? This is chapter number 34. Then God said to Jacob, arise and go to Bethel, and dwell there, and make an altar there to God, who appeared to you. When you fled from the face of Esau, your brother, Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, put away the foreign gods that are among you, purify yourself, and change your garments. Let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make an altar there to God, who answered me the day of my distress, and has been with me the way which I have gone. So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods which were in the hands, and the earnings which were in the ears. Jacob hid them under the terebinth tree which was by Shisham, and journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were all around them, and they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is the land of Canaan, he and all the people who were with him, and he built an altar there and placed El Bethel, because there God appeared to him, and he fled from the face of the brother. Now Deborah, Rebekah, nurse, died, and she was buried below Bethel under the terebinth tree, so the name of it was called Alon Bashut. And God appeared to Jacob again. He came from Patna Aram and blessed him. And God said to him, your name is Jacob. Your name shall not be called Jacob anymore, but Israel shall be your name. So he called his name Israel. Also God said to him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall proceed from you, and a king shall come from your body. The land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, I give to you and to your descendants after you. I give this land God went up from this place where he talked with him. Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering on it, and he poured on it, and Jacob called the name of the place where God spoke with him, Bethel. Then they journeyed from Bethel, when there was when there was but a little distance to go to Ephraim, Rachel labored at childbirth, and she had a hard labor. Now it came to pass, when she was hard labor, the midwife said to her, "Do not fear, you will have a son also." So it was, as her soul was departing, that she called his name Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, and Jacob set a pillar on her grave, which is the pillar of Rachel's grave to this day. Then Israel journeyed and pitched their tent towards the tower of Eder. And it happened, when Israel dwelt in this land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah were Rachel's maidservants were Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah were Leah maidservants were Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Patnaram. When Jacob came to the fathers Isaac at Mamre or Kirjath Arab, where Abraham and Isaac had dwelt. Now the days of Isaac were 180 years. So Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to the people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. This is chapter number 35. Go to chapter number 36. Now this is the genealogy of Esau, whose Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, Atna the daughters of Elon the Hittites, Holibah the daughters of Hannah, the daughter of Zimeon the Evite, and Basemath Ismail's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. Now Atna bore Ilpsa and to Esau, and Basemath bore Reo, and Holima bore Ishosh, Salam, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the persons of the household, his cattle, and all the animals, and all his goods which he had gained in the land of Canaan. He went to a country away from the presence of his brother Jacob, for the possession was too great for them to dwell together. The land, when they were strangers, could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau dwelled in the Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And this is the genealogy of Esau, father of Edomites in Mount Seir. These were the names of Esau's son. Elbsa, the son of Adnah, the wife of Esau, and the Ruel, the sons of Basemath, wife of Esau. The sons of Elbs were Teman, Omer, Septa, Gatam, and Kenas. Now Timnah was a concubine of Elbsa, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Elbsa. These were the sons of Adnah, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Reu, Nath, Zerah, Shammah, and Misa. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Holibama, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Simeon, and she bore to Esau, Salam, and Korah. These were the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Elipsa, the first son of Esau, were Chief Terma, Chief Homer, Chief Zeppo, Chief Kensa, Chief Korah, Chief Katam, and Chief Amalek. These were the chiefs of Elsa and the land of Edom. They were the sons of Adnah. These were the sons of Reuel, Esau's son. Chief Natha, Chief Sarah, Chief Shammah, Chief and Chief Mizah. These were the chiefs of Reuel in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And they were sons of Holima, Esau's wife, Chief Jusos, Chief Jalan, Chief Korah. These were the chiefs who had descended from Holima, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Esau, whom is Edom. These were the chiefs. These were the sons of Shear the Arod, who inhabited the land: Lotan, Shobel, Simeon, Anna, Ishkon, Issar, and Dishan. These were the chiefs of Oretz, the son of Zir, in the land of Edom. The sons of Lotan were Horai and Emin. Lotan's son were Timnah. These were the sons of Shobel, Alva, Maneth, Abel, Shebo, and Onan. These were the sons of Simeon, both Ajah and Anna. These were then Anna, and who found the waters in the wilderness as he pastured the donkeys of Paul Simeon. These were the sons of the children of Anna, Dishon, and Aholima, daughters of Anna. These were the sons of Dishon, Hemda, Ishba, Ithran, and Sharon. These were the sons of Isra, Bilhah, Zavan, Apna. These were the sons of Disha, Uz, and Aran. These were the chiefs of Horites: Chief Zotan, Chief Zomel, Chief Simeon, Chief Anna, Chief Dishon, Chief Ezer, Chief Dishon. These were the chiefs, according to the sheep, the lands of Shear. Now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom. The name of the city was called Dinhabah. And when Bela died, Jobab the son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his place. When Jobab died, Husham of the land of Temanites reigned in his place. And when Tushnam died, Hadad the son of Bedad, who attached Midian, the field of Moab, reigned in his place. The name of the city was Avid. When Hadad died, Samlah of Mascarai reigned in the place. And when Samlah died, Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. When Saul died, Baal-Hanan the son of Eshbor reigned in the place. And when Baal-Hanan the son of Eshbor died, Hadar reigned in his place. And the name of the city was Pau. His wife's name was Nehath-Baal, the daughter of Matra, the daughter of Misnah. These were the names of the chief of Esau according to the families and the place by their names: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Chetha, Chief Aholiba, Chief Ella, Chief Pinno, Chief Kenas, Chief Temma, Chief Bizra, Chief Mactel, Chief Aram. These were the chiefs of Edom according to their dwelling places in the land of possession. Esau was the father of Edomites. I want to play this chapter because there are a lot of names, man. I don't know whether I pronounced it correctly. There's a lot of names there, so I want to listen to this chapter. Maybe after I complete the Bible reading, I will go and listen to him. How the narrators are reading this reading. So maybe after I finish my task, I'll do it. So right now, let's go to Acts. Acts chapter 17. Now when they had passed through Amyphilus and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where there was a synagogue of the Jews. Then Paul and his custom was went into them, and 3 Sabbath reasons with them. For the scriptures explained and demonstrated that Christ had suffered and rise again from the dead, and saying, "This is Jesus whom I preach to you as is the Christ." And some of them were persuaded, and great multitude of devout Greeks and not few of the leading women joined Paul and Silas. But the Jews who were not persuaded became envious, took some of the evil men from the marketplace, and gathered a mob, set all the city in an uproar, and attacked the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out of the people. But when they did not find them, they dragged Jason and some brethren to the rulers of the city, crying out, "These who have troubled the world upside down have come here too. Jason, Jason has harped them, and these are all acting contrary to the decree of Caesar, saying there is another king, Jesus." And they troubled the crowd and the rulers of the city when they heard these things. And they heard these things. So when they had taken security from Jason and the rest, they let them go. Then the brethren immediately sent Paul and Silas away from the night to Berea. When they arrived, they went into the synagogue of Jews. These were more far-minded than those in Thessalonica, that they received the word with all the readiness and scripture, and searched the scriptures daily to find out whether these things were so. Therefore many of them believed, and also not a few of the Greeks, prominent women as well as women and men. But when the Jews from Thessalonica learned that the word of the God was preached by Paul at Berea, they came there also and stirred up a crowd. Then immediately the brothers sent Paul away to go to the sea, but but both Silas and Timothy remained there. So those who conducted Paul brought him to Athens, and received a command from Silas and Timothy to come to him with all speed. They departed. Now while Paul waited for them in Athens, his spirit was provoked with him, when he saw that the city was given over to idols. Therefore he reasoned with the synagogue, with the Jewish and the Gentile worshippers in the marketplace daily, with those who happened to be there. And certain Ephronic and Stoic philosophers encountered him, and some said, "What does this babbler want to say?" Others say, "He seems to be proclaimed of foreign gods, because he preached to them Jesus and the resurrection." And they took him and brought him to Areopagus, saying, "May we know what this new doctrine is of which you speak, for you are bringing some strange things to our ears. Therefore we want you to know what these things means." For all the Athenians and the foreigners who were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new things. Then Paul stood there in the midst of Areopagus and said, "Men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are religious, for as I was passing through and considering the objects of your worship, I even found an altar with the inscription, to an unknown God. Therefore to the one whom you worship without knowing him, I proclaim to you, God who made the world and everything in it, since he is the Lord of heaven and earth, do not dwell in the temples made in the hand, nor he is worshipped with men's hand, as though he needed anything, since he gives to us all life, breath, and things, and he made from one blood every nation of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and all determined the pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings, so that they should seek the Lord in hopes that they might grope for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us, for in him we live and move and have our livings. But also some of you poets have said, "For we are all his offsprings." Therefore, since we are all his offsprings, God, we ought not to think that divine nature is not like gold or silver or stone, something shaped by an art of man's device. Truly these times of ignorance God overlooked, but now commands all men everyone to repent, because he has appointed a day on which he will judge the world in righteous by the man whom he has ordained. He has given assurance to this to all by raising him from the dead. And when they heard the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, while others say, "We will hear you again on this matter." So Paul departed from him. However, some men joined him and believed, among the Dionysius the Areopagite, a woman named Damaris, and others with him. This is chapter number 17. Let's go to the final chapter of the day, Acts chapter 18.
Chapter 18. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and went to Corinth. And he found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, who had recently come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because Claudius had commanded all the Jews to depart from Rome. And he came to them. So, because he was of the same trade, he stayed with them and worked, for by occupation they were tent makers. Chapter 18.
After these things, Paul departed from Athens and went to Corinth, and he found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, who was recently come from Italy with his wife Priscilla. Because Claudius has commanded all the Jews to depart from Rome, and he came to them. So because he was on the same trade, he stayed with them and worked. For by occupation they went tent makers, and he reasoned in synagogue every Sabbath, and persuaded both Jews and Greeks. And Silas and Timothy had come from Macedonia. Paul was compelled by the Spirit, and testified to the Jews that Jesus is Christ. But when they opposed him and blasphemed him, he shook his garment, and he said to them, Your blood be upon your own heads. I am clean. From now on I will go to the Gentiles. And he departed from there, and entered to the house of a certain man named Justus, one who worshipped God, whose house was next to the synagogue. Then Crispus, the ruler of the synagogue, believed on the Lord with all his household, and many of the Corinthians hearing and believed and were baptized. Now the Lord spoke to Paul in the night by a vision. Do not be afraid, but speak, and do not keep silent. For I am with you, and no one will attack you to hurt you, for I have many people in the city. And he counted there 1 year and 6 months, teaching the word of God among them. When Gallio was proconsul of Achaia, Jewish with one accord rose up against Paul and brought him to the judgment seat, saying, This fellow persuades men to worship God, contrary to the law. And when Paul was about to open his mouth, Gallio said to the Jewish, If it were a matter of wrongdoing or wicked crimes, O Jewish, there would be a reason why I should bear with you. But if it is a question of words and names on your own law, look it for yourself. I do not want to be the judge of such matters. And he drew them up from the judgment seat. Then all the Greeks took Sosthenes, the ruler of the synagogue, and beat him before the judgment seat, while Gallio took notice of these things. So Paul still remained good while then he took a leave from brethren and sailed from Syria. Then he took a leave from brethren and sailed for Syria, and Priscilla and Aquila were with him. He had his hair cut off from Cenchrea, for he had been taken vow, and he came to Ephesus and left them there. But he himself entered the synagogue and reasoned with the Jewish. And they asked him to stay a long time with them. He did not consent, but took a leave of them, saying, I must by all means keep these coming feasts in Jerusalem, but I will return again to you, God willing. He sailed from Ephesus. And when he had landed to Caesarea and gone up and greeted the church, he went to Antioch. After he had spent some time there, he departed, went over to the regions of Galatia and Phrygia in order, strengthening all the disciples. Now a certain Jew named Apollos, born at Alexandria, elegant man and mighty in the scriptures, came to Ephesus. This man had been instructed in the way of the Lord, and being fervent in spirit, he spoke and taught accurately the things of the Lord. Though he knew only baptism of John, so he began to speak boldly. Synagogue in Aquila and Priscilla heard him, took him aside, and explained to him the ways of God more accurately. And when he decided to cross to Asia, the brethren wrote, exhorting the disciples to receive him. And he very aright greatly helped those who had believed through grace, for he vigorously refuted the Jewish publicly, showing from the scriptures that Jesus is Christ.